Isolate variables using the inverse property or inverse operations. Solve algebraic equations using the properties of equality.
Like, what are you talking about?
Solving algebraic equations.
What does that even mean?
I like to look at it like a soccer game. 2. I'm the captain. Another person.
Me.
Yes. You. We are both captains and we want to pick teams that are fair. That is a good way to look at the two teams. We want them to be equal. We want one side to be balanced with the other side.
Okay, that makes sense. I will still beat you. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Calm down. So, now look at an equation. Let's take 2 equals x plus 1. 2 is on the left of the equation and x plus 1 is on the right-hand side of the equation. We want to know the value of x that will make both sides equal. Getting back to the soccer game, I have Jose and myself on my team. It is Jose and I against you. Is that fair?
I don't know. Can Jose play? Is he any good? Maybe I can beat both of you.
Jose rocks. I can run very fast but I am not a great kicker.
No, you will win.
Okay, so what can we do to make it equal?
I get another player.
Right, then both sides will have 2 people on them. So let's look at how we could figure that out.
Okay.
Take the equation we had. 2 equals x plus 1. I have 2, you have something plus 1. You are one person. So x must equal 1. Then both sides would have 2 on each side. If I wanted to figure it out using math, I would just write out 2 equals x plus 1. Then I would get the x by itself, or isolate it so that it is on one side and everything else is on the other side.
I lost you.
I just subtract 1 from both sides. The 1 subtracted from 1 on the side with the x cancels. That is 1 minus 1 equals 0. On the left-hand side, 2 minus 1 equals 1. That leaves us with x equals 1. We have isolated the 1.
How do I know it is right?
Putting the 1 back into the equation for x. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So we have equality if x equals 1. It is easier if you write it down. But that is the idea. I am just trying to show you ideas here. There are plenty of problems to try on the Solcan videos.
It is a little slippery.
Some numbers and variables, like x, are on the left of the equal sign and some numbers and letters are on the right-hand side of the equal sign. Listen to the word equal sign. There is equality between the right-hand side and the left-hand side of the equal sign. They are equal. Sometimes people use a seesaw to describe it. You need the same weight on each side for it to balance.
Equal. Equal. Equal.
Remember, equality. It is the key idea when playing with these equations.
Represent. Monday.
Yes, the variable represents a number that will keep a balance, like in our soccer game. So both teams have an equal chance of winning. We do this by playing around with both of the sides. Just remember that you can do whatever you want to do to each side as long as you do it to both sides. You can add things and you can subtract things. You can multiply things and divide things. And the key thing is that you pick a number to subtract or add that will isolate the x. When I subtract 5 from 5, then the answer is 0.
Why would I do that? How do I know what to do? When do I do what?
Take a deep breath. You can do this. We want to solve for x. We want x isolated, or alone, all alone, by itself.
Solving?
Yes, we want to isolate or get the other numbers away from the x. That is what solving means. We find the value of x that will make both sides equal.
Okay.
You might have more than one x you may need to add like terms.
Awkward.
It just means grouping up the x's or variables that are the same. Then you have to divide the number it is next to, or being multiplied by, to get it away from the x, and this is the secret. You need to do whatever you do to both sides.
How? How can we do that?
First, let's talk about the x's. If I have 2 x's over here and 3 x's over there.
Here an x, there an x, ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha.
I add them up and get 5 x's. Looking at the 5 x's, I know that I can separate the 5 from the x by dividing it.
I thought there were 5 x's.
It is true. There are 5. We divide both sides by 5. Then the 5 next to the 5 x's cancels out. On the other side we then have whatever is there divided by 5.
Let me get this straight. If you have something next to the x, it means it is multiplied by the x. To get it away, you need to divide.
Eureka! And that is called isolate variables using the inverse property or inverse operations.
So, it is like opposites. To get the x away from something added to it, you subtract that number from both sides. And to get it away from something subtracted from the x, you add it to both sides.
Exactly.
And if you have something the x is divided by, you multiply it by both sides.
Yes, now go try some problems. You can talk about this stuff all day, but it really needs to be practiced. Then you will see exactly you have to do. It is just a matter of doing the opposite operation in order to isolate the x. Addition is the opposite of subtraction and multiplication is the opposite of division.
Why do we want to isolate it again?
We want to isolate the x so that we can solve the equation. Like I said, solve algebraic equations using the properties of equality. That means to find a value of x that will make the equality actually equal when plugging it in.
How will I know if I am right? I am worried that I will make a mistake.
All you have to do is plug the value of x into the equation. And if both sides come out the same, you win.
It is like a game. That rocks. Equality. Equality, equality.